Hey everyone, Matt back for photo news and reviews. It's been a while between reviews. I apologize for the delay. I've been traveling a lot. I get loads and loads of questions, perhaps as much as I do on any topic, about third-party manufactured battery grips. Battery grips are really expensive, but really handy. So today I want to talk you through the Vello BG-N7 for the Nikon D800 and D800E, and I was pleasantly surprised, I have to say. So, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you no doubt would have heard me saying stick away from third-party battery grips. If you're going to spend a lot of money on your DSLR, why cheap out on a cheap plasticky battery grip? That was born from having tested quite a few different ones and felt that they were just plasticky and tacky and rubbish. This guy is still plastically. The Vello one, it is made in China, it is made of plastic, but the build quality is actually really nice. It's not the same build quality as the Nikon original one, however, but the Nikon original one came out retailing for like over $600, quite a bit more than that actually, which was just quite ridiculous. And whilst there's a difference, you know, this one's plastic and the other one has a magnesium alloy shell, there's not a huge difference in terms of weight, and the build quality in terms of, you know, the overall feel of it is quite nice. The big downside to using a grip that isn't a genuine one is the flex that you get in there. Let me just give you a close-up on this guy attached. The unit fits really flushly to the body of the D800, unlike some that I've seen that have a fair amount of wiggle in them and it just doesn't fit perfectly flushly. This one really does on all of the sides. So that little bit of flex is really not an issue for me. The fact that it's got the two pins that go in there, one of them being a big steel pin, really does help to reinforce it. I like the fact that it's got the optional tray to put 4 AA batteries in, or a normal one of the actual batteries from the D800 in there. The connectors all feel really good quality, and as I said, the actual sturdiness of the unit seems fine. So, you know, what are you losing out on then? We're talking about a much cheaper unit here. There must be a trade-off, right? Well, there is, and for me, it's quite apparent. It's in the buttons and dials. Now, looking around the different buttons on this one, the one that connects it to the camera is A-grade, top quality. The little mode dial on the back, I actually quite like that compared to a lot of the ones that I've tested from third-party manufacturers. It's quite nice and crisp, and you can clearly feel when it's been clicked into place, unlike some of them are a bit spongy. And the dials, actually, the dials are not too bad. They're not as you know, soft and rubbery feeling in a good way as the Nikon one, and they do feel a little bit plasticky, but you know, if you're like me, you can, I always think that there's different qualities of plastic and you can really quickly feel it. The body of this one is close to top quality. The little mode dial here is first or second quality. The dials are probably second quality, but still for the price, I think they're actually quite good for that price point. But the on-off switch feels cheap and just loose, and there isn't a clear click that it's moving into place. The button itself feels really cheap. It does work, I never had a misfire, but it does feel cheap, and I don't like the position of it. I kept missing it compared to the lovely rounded position of the button on the actual D800. This one's, you know, quite flat on. And then the rear AF button as well. It's definitely better than the shutter button, but it's still not quite up there. But that said, if you're using a D800 and if you only want to use a grip some of the time, I do think that this is really worth considering at a snip of the price compared to the original one. The build, in terms of, you know, the ratio of price between the two, I think the build of this one is really quite good, and I think it offers much better value than the Nikon one. I have used this, you can see here, with my Black Rapid on, and I've used it on tripod, and I haven't felt that there's a worrying amount of flex in here. Perhaps a little bit more than the Nikon one, but really nothing like some of the third-party ones I've seen out there before. I did several shoots with this one with the D800 and the 24-70 and also prime lenses on there. you know, swinging around on my hip, and never felt like there was flex or worry that, you know, it was going to come detached. So pleasant surprise. You know, I always say you get what you pay for in this industry, and it is true, but I think for this one, you're getting more than you pay for in a sense. If you are going to use a grip all the time, if you've got the budget and if you want the best, then yes, go and get the Nikon original one. It is the best built one on the market. But if you want to save hundreds of dollars, whether you're going to use it a lot of the time or if you're just going to use it from time to time, I don't think you can really go too wrong with this. If the shutter button and on-off switch on this guy was upgraded, then I would say this is worth $200 or $300, not the cheap price that they're actually charging. Leave me any questions or comments. If you've used any of the other Vello grips, please let me know. This is the only one of theirs that I've personally tried. You can only get this one in the States. I'll put a link in the caption below. But yeah, very interesting and nice one, and the first third-party grip that I've ever tested that I would be happy to use myself. Hope that helps. See you soon. More photo news and reviews coming soon.